Welcome to this explainer. We often take the roof over our heads completely for granted, right? We just kind of assume it's always going to be there to keep us dry. But honestly, it's a highly engineered shield fighting a continuous invisible battle against the elements. It takes a massive beating so the rest of your house doesn't have to. Today, we're diving straight into exactly how it works, the incredible building science behind it, and, well, what happens when that shield finally starts to fail.
So get this. Did you know that during the peak of summer, the asphalt shingles up on your roof can reach a blistering 150 degrees? Literally hot enough to fry an egg right above your living room. It's so hot that it physically changes the shape of your home's materials, turning solid asphalt soft and pliable. And the crazy thing is, this intense heat is just one of the extreme, punishing conditions your roof endures every single day. It goes way beyond just keeping the rain out.
Here's our architectural blueprint for today's explainer. We'll start with weather versus your roof, move into the anatomy of a roof failure, explore choosing the right materials, unpack the science of installation, walk through the replacement process, and finally wrap up with protecting your investment. All right, let's jump right into section 1, weather versus your roof, the daily battle. And believe me, it really is a daily, unyielding battle up there. Think about regions like the North Carolina Piedmont, around areas like Huntersville and Lake Norman. Out there, straight-line winds regularly exceed 60 miles per hour, aggressively pulling at the most vulnerable parts of your roof. Now, these wind events don't just hit the center. They concentrate all that massive uplift force right on the edges and ridges, constantly trying to pry and tear off those shingles. If those winds succeed, well, it would leave your vulnerable wood decking completely exposed to driving rain in a matter of minutes, turning a bad wind event into a major water damage disaster. Then we have the invisible threat of thermal cycling. During peak afternoon sun, especially on south and west-facing roof planes, the asphalt expands under that 150-degree heat. Then, overnight, it rapidly cools and contracts. This cycle happens literally hundreds of times a year. It physically degrades the adhesive strips holding the shingles together, causes those protective granules to fall right off, and leaves the materials super brittle and cracked. It's basically aging your roof from the inside out, year after year, completely out of sight. Moving right along to section 2, anatomy of a roof failure, the hidden damage. The scariest part about all this wear and tear is that it's usually completely invisible from the ground. Now, fast forward to winter, and you have the looming threat of ice dams. These are notoriously bad for forcing water underneath protective layers, especially when older homes don't have proper insulation. Here's how it happens. Heat escapes from your poorly insulated attic and melts the snow sitting on the higher parts of the roof. That water runs down to the cold eaves and freezes solid, creating a literal dam of ice. So the next wave of meltwater has absolutely nowhere to go. It backs up, defies gravity, and seeps right underneath your shingles, traveling along the rafters until it completely ruins your ceiling drywall. What a mess, right? So the absolutely crucial thing here is to look up and check for warning signs of failure. If you clean your gutters and find what looks like a heavy layer of coarse black sand, your shingles are rapidly losing their vital protective layer. Keep an eye out for widespread curling, or maybe dark algae streaks trapping moisture on the north side of your house. And if you ever spot a sagging roof deck or unexplained water stains inside, well, that means the weather has already won the battle and structural failure is active. You are officially on the clock, and you need to act fast before the framing itself rots. Let's pivot to a solution in section 3. Choosing the right materials, your first line of defense. This is where modern manufacturing really shines. When comparing your options, standard 3-tab asphalt is great if you're on a strict budget. It gives you about 15 to 20 years of life. But upgrading to architectural asphalt bumps you up to a solid 25 to 30 years and gives you the sheer dimensional strength needed to fight off those 60-mile-per-hour winds we talked about. And if you want the ultimate shield, metal roofing lasts anywhere from 40 to 70 years and actually reflects the summer sun, lowering your cooling bills. Think of metal roofing not just as a cover, but as an active participant in your home's energy efficiency. It's an upfront investment, sure, but it pays dividends over half a century. Okay, section 4, the science of installation, beyond the shingles. We're going beyond the surface here, because a roof is no longer just a pile of overlapping materials. It's a precisely calibrated system. There's a massive gap between what people think a roof is versus the strict building science requirements contractors follow today. The myth is totally old school, just roll out some basic felt paper and drive 4 nails into each shingle. But the reality of a modern system is completely different. Today, we use highly tear-resistant synthetic underlayment, specialized ice and water shields in the vulnerable valleys, and an incredibly strong, enhanced 6-nail fastener pattern. This isn't just about throwing materials up there. It's about layering specialized defenses, so that if one layer is somehow compromised, the next one holds the line. For example, modern building codes in places like Mecklenburg County now demand that residential roofs withstand 110-mile-per-hour winds. That's serious wind, and it strictly requires that 6-nail pattern. Building codes have gotten incredibly strict for a good reason. If a contractor only uses 4 nails to save a bit of time and material costs, your brand new roof won't pass inspection, and it certainly won't survive the next major storm. The science of fastening is directly tied to the survival of your home. You also have to conquer humidity with some strict ventilation math, ensuring your attic doesn't trap moisture that rots the decking from the inside out. To do this, there's a magic number: 1 square foot of ventilation for every 150 square feet of attic space. And it has to be perfectly balanced. Half of that ventilation must be intake vents at the bottom near the soffits, drawing fresh air in, and the other half must be exhaust vents at the very top ridge, pushing stale air out. This creates a continuous, passive airflow that flushes out that 150-degree summer heat and winter moisture, dramatically extending the life of your entire roof system. It's a real game changer. Let's look at Section 5, the replacement process step by step. Getting a roof replaced can feel a little daunting, but when done right, it's a remarkably smooth operation. When you work with pros, the timeline is super predictable. Day 1 is all about a thorough inspection and a detailed written estimate, diagnosing the real issues, not just the surface symptoms. By days 2 and 3, permit approvals are secured, and the old roof is completely torn off right down to the decking. That tear-off phase is crucial. You can't just slap new shingles over rotten wood and hope for the best, right? And then by days 4 and 5, the underlayment and new shingles are installed, followed by a final walkthrough. It's a fast, highly orchestrated transformation. This 3-step replacement journey ensures you fully understand your investment, guarantees the work meets those 110-mile-per-hour wind codes, and leaves your property totally spotless. Step 1, the inspection and estimate, involves getting up into the dark, dusty attic to check the ventilation and framing firsthand. Step 2 is the professional installation, where those manufacturer specs and building codes are rigidly applied. And Step 3, the walkthrough and warranty, is actually my favorite. True professionals will run heavy-duty magnetic rollers across your lawn and driveway to pick up every single stray nail before they give you final approval and hand over your written warranty. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, protecting your investment, proactive care. Because a roof isn't something you buy and then just completely ignore for 30 years. Okay, if you remember only one thing from this entire explainer, let it be this. Never use a pressure washer on your roof. Just put the pressure washer down. It will instantly destroy your shingles and completely void your warranty. I know, it's incredibly tempting to blast away some moss or dirt to make the roof look brand new again. But that high-pressure water strips away the vital mineral granules that protect the asphalt from the sun's intense UV rays. By trying to clean it, you are literally washing away the lifespan of your roof in seconds. No way is it worth it. Instead, take these simple, actionable steps for essential roof maintenance. Cleaning your gutters quarterly stops those destructive ice dams and water backups before they ever even start. Trimming overhanging branches away from the roof plane prevents physical scraping and structural damage during high winds. Oh, and installing zinc or copper strips near the ridge to fight algae, that is an amazing low-effort hack. Rainwater gently washes over the metal, creating a chemical environment that naturally prevents dark algae growth. Also, make sure to schedule professional inspections after severe wind or hailstorms. And most importantly, do not ignore missing or cracked flashing around your chimneys, because that is where the most devastating leaks almost always start. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this critical question to ask yourself today. Is your roof truly ready to survive the next severe storm? The building science is clear, the warning signs are visible if you just know where to look, and the maintenance steps are simple but absolutely essential. Take a quick walk outside, look up, and make sure the invisible science of your roof is still working to give you peace of mind and protect everything you love underneath it.